In a major development, former President Donald Trump has been indicted by a grand jury in New York on charges related to hush money payments made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Let's take a closer look. Donald Trump, who served as President of the United States from 2017 to 2021, has been charged with one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and one count of causing an unlawful corporate contribution. These charges stem from payments made to Stormy Daniels in 2016 to keep her from speaking publicly about an alleged affair with Trump. The case has been the subject of intense media scrutiny since it first came to light in 2018. Trump has denied any wrongdoing, and his lawyers have said that the charges are politically motivated. Legal experts say that this is a significant development, as it marks the first time Trump has faced criminal charges since leaving office in January 2021. However, they note that there is still a long way to go in the legal process, and it is unclear what the outcome will be. The indictment has also sparked reactions from political figures, with some praising the decision to hold Trump accountable and others criticizing it as a partisan attack. The hush money payments made to Stormy Daniels were originally brought to light in 2018 when Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer and fixer, pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations related to the payments. Cohen stated that he made the payments at Trump's direction, and that they were intended to influence the outcome of the 2016 presidential election. Since then, there have been multiple investigations into the payments by federal prosecutors and the FBI. The charges brought against Trump by the grand jury in New York are the latest development in this ongoing legal saga. While Trump and his lawyers have denied any wrongdoing, legal experts say that the charges are serious and could carry significant consequences if Trump is convicted. If found guilty, he could face fines, probation, or even prison time. The indictment also raises questions about the future of Trump's political career. While he has not announced whether he plans to run for office again, the charges could make it more difficult for him to do so, as they could damage his reputation and credibility. Overall, the indictment of Donald Trump on charges related to hush money payments is a major development in a long-running legal saga. While it remains to be seen what the outcome will be, it is clear that this story is far from over. Donald Trump has become the first former American president to be indicted and is expected to turn himself in on Tuesday for arraignment. The indictment came in connection with paying off adult film actress Stephanie Clifford, also known as Stormy Daniels, for her silence about an alleged sexual encounter. The payment was made in the run-up to the 2016 presidential elections. On Thursday, a grand jury in New York indicted Trump on criminal charges, the district attorney's office and Trump's lawyers confirmed. While the specific charges will only be made publicly available when he turns himself in, Trump has likely been charged with falsifying business records and violating campaign finance laws. CNN reported he faces more than 30 counts related to fraud. The indictment comes after a 5-year-long investigation and will both test the legal system and shape American political dynamics within the Republican fold and between Republicans and Democrats in the run-up to presidential elections next year. The political battle. The indictment introduces additional uncertainty in the Republican field for the presidential nomination in 2024. Trump has announced his candidature. The indictment does not pose any legal bar on him from continuing his fight for the nomination. But political observers are divided about whether it will benefit him by consolidating his base further, or push Republican donors and voters towards other potential candidates, particularly Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. On Thursday, a grand jury in New York indicted Trump on criminal charges, the district attorney's office and Trump's lawyers confirmed. While the specific charges will only be made publicly available when he turns himself in, Trump has likely been charged with falsifying business records and violating campaign finance laws. CNN reported he faces more than 30 counts related to fraud. The indictment comes after a 5-year-long investigation and will both test the legal system and shape American political dynamics within the Republican fold and between Republicans and Democrats in the run-up to presidential elections next year. The political battle. The indictment introduces additional uncertainty in the Republican field for the presidential nomination in 2024. Trump has announced his candidature. The indictment does not pose any legal bar on him from continuing his fight for the nomination. But political observers are divided about whether it will benefit him by consolidating his base further, or push Republican donors and voters towards other potential candidates, particularly Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. In a sign of how the indictment may have forced all Republicans to unite in opposition to the decision, DeSantis, who has been facing Trump's attacks, too called the indictment un-American. He alleged that the Soros-backed Manhattan attorney was stretching the law to target a political opponent. DeSantis did not specifically name Trump in his tweet. Former Vice President Mike Pence, who fell out with Trump over the legitimacy of the 2020 elections, also called the indictment an outrage. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy threatened to hold Bragg and his unprecedented abuse of power to account. Democrats emphasized the importance of letting the law take its course. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who is from New York, said that Trump is subject to the same laws as every American. Schumer added Trump will be able to avail of the legal system and a jury according to facts and the law. There should be no outside political influence, intimidation, or interference in the case. Charges will only be unsealed on Tuesday after Trump turns himself in. But here is what's known. The case does not hinge on Trump paying off Daniels. Neither does the former president deny that the payment was made, though he denies having any sexual encounter with Daniels, nor is hush money in itself illegal. Instead, the case, in all likelihood, hinges on Trump reimbursing his long-time confidant and lawyer, Michael Cohen, who paid off Daniels and then provided phony invoices to show this as legal expenses, thus hiding the intent of the payment. It is thus possibly built around this falsifying of business records. Trump's lawyers deny that he knew about the misleading records, even though Cohen has claimed the former president was completely aware of it. In 2018, Cohen admitted in court that he had made payments to 2 women in coordination with and at the direction of a candidate for federal office, for the principal purpose of influencing the election. Daniels was among them. But this would constitute a misdemeanor, not a crime. For it to be a crime, it is possible that the case hinges on showing that the payment was a violation of election law, since the payout, in effect, served as a donation to the Trump campaign by silencing Daniels and averting a scandal to influence the poll. The payment of $130,000 violated the maximum donation limit for a campaign, capped at $2,700. Cohen made the payment on October 27, 2016, just 12 days before the elections. If this is the charge, the Manhattan prosecutor may have used a state election law that defines a campaign contribution as anything of value made in connection with an election. Besides the case in Manhattan, Trump confronts other legal challenges. These revolve around his possession of classified files, efforts to overturn the election results in Georgia, role in instigating the January 6, 2021, insurrection, and business practices of the Trump Organization.